Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about knowing how to use your strength in a time of need. You know what I'm saying? Learning and knowing how to use your strength. And no, it's not going to be your physical muscles. You know what I mean? It's going to be your spiritual muscles that you will need. And what kind of dove me into this subject today was this week has been pretty long. So anybody following me on any of my other medias, they will kind of know that I have not been posting anywhere. I have not posted anywhere. I've been trying to keep my energy balanced, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, to kind of be able to get up here and still be able to do this and stay consistent in this area, which I still fault myself if I miss a day here or there. But it's been a lot going on within this past week within my life, right? And I know it's been going on in a lot of others' lives, but what really brought me to this subject was, you know, shout out to New Breed. I don't know how many of y'all watch New Breed, but I've been kind of on and off with following him for probably since like 2017, you know what I mean, 2017, 2018. I want to say somewhere around that time. I've been following him, bro. You know, he has his belief systems, which I agree with a lot. You know, he says I'm not a former of the book way, but you know, bro, you know, he gang, so we all banging from the same playbook. So, you know, I still fuck with him. I still send love vibrations over there. You know what I'm saying? Because I was having an extremely crazy week. Extremely crazy. And I was trying to figure out how I could compile it together to kind of source out how to get the knowledge and information out of my trials that I've been going through this week. And as I'm going through mine, and I haven't been posting much, sometimes I have my other ones that I tap into, and New Breed was one of them, and I haven't been seeing nothing, not anything from him this week. And he just recently posted today, and he has some stuff going on with him where he was, you know, under attack. And it's like we all have to be there for each other spiritually. You know, it doesn't matter which religion you bang. If we all banging the same playbook, we should all be sending each other the same high vibrations. You know what I'm saying? Because we all need the protection and the defense out here, because we're constantly under attack if we're caught slipping. And what I mean caught slipping, I'ma have to use me as an example, because this is what kind of led me into what's like processing his situation and how he was getting attacked and going through what he was going through. Because, you know, you speaking out against the system, you know what I'm saying? You speaking out against these demonic forces that's really not fucking with us on that level, you know what I'm saying? So they have to minimize us as much as they can. But when you in certain battles, right? Because I signed up for one for a long time, but it's like I knew some shits had kind of been off balance because I've been focusing my energy more differently, just trying to figure out different kinks and things and how to work things, you know. And I kind of put myself in a position where I was helping other beings, you know, on a percentage scale. I'm helping others 80%, and then I'm helping myself 20%, meaning that I'm neglecting some things that I should be doing. And it was like accumulation of everything just hitting all at one time within the same week, you know, because he had got an attack on, New Breed got an attack on his actual physical and spiritual life, meaning he was in the hospital for a week. Like, he was saying he wasn't supposed to make it out. And then for me, I was getting hit financially because I wasn't at the hotels and motels. So what they do for me is I get caught slipping. So it's shit that's my own accountability. But when you sign up for these battles and you got a spouse or a family member that you are engaged with full time or something like that, so like my BM is something that I signed up for, so I know that's a full time battle that I'm not allowed to get caught slipping. So I understand, like, having her there all the time, it is extremely detrimental to me, but it's extremely helpful to me too when I look at it from our playbook, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you have other beings around you and you are trying to build yourself up, you kind of neglect yourself in certain areas, and that's kind of what happened to me. So I was just kind of looking at all the different attacks from different angles, because I see New Breed got hit with something from like a EMF, you know, or some kind of poison or something like that. And then for me, mine was more financially, you know what I'm saying? Mine was more financially, you know what I'm saying? And more so of my mini, so I get hit by the courts. So I end up having a process where I'm getting a random knock at the door at like 9-10 o'clock by some people to hand me some paperwork, and then because it's an emergency file now, I gotta be at court in a couple days, so it's no even preparation for any of this shit really, besides what I can do in the couple days, and it was a weekend time, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot in that process, you know. And then on top of having to go to the courts to fight for my mini, you know what I'm saying, which I'm always gonna fight for her, it's like that situation would have been prevented, because that was a position where I was saying where a percentage of it is an attack, but then a percentage of it is lack of self-preservation. That's about the best word I can come up with, because I'm helping so much that I'm neglecting some of my other areas until I get slapped in the face, and it's like, oh shit, you know, you had this entity over here, and you know they're always working against you to try to disrupt, dismantle, and destroy you any kind of way they can. And what's better way to get to you than through your mini? You know what I'm saying? So outside of me having my own self-awareness and accountability for my role, you know, to having to be back in the situation where we're back in the course again, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like a couple days later, right after that, literally, court Tuesday, Turkey Day, and then on their Turkey Day, I even hate saying Turkey Day, because it's like, for one, we giving our energy to a weird source, and then for two, we sacrificing the turkeys out here. So it's a whole weird process, but I'm gonna get to how we start using our strengths. But first, I have to break it down as far as like where these examples is coming from and how we start pulling ourselves into a better space. But then it's like 2 days after that, right? Because I was already like kind of fucked up about like the whole court process, and like it was just weird. It was just, the whole process was weird, you know what I'm saying? But I hold myself fully accountable for my role, you know what I'm saying? And it's still a continuation process, but still, it's kind of like somebody just sitting around just watching your every move and waiting for you to slip, to fall, to drop something, to just do something that disrupts your flow. And then the minute you do something that disrupts your flow, they're like, aha, got you. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when they apply their pressure, and then that's when it becomes an attack. But the attack doesn't start until you've already made it apparent that, all right, well, boom, I just slipped. And instead of getting back up, you start looking around to see who saw you. Did anybody just see me slip or fall? You know what I'm saying? And that's when they jump and joke. But on top of that, 2 days after that, on their day, you know what I'm saying, several ways it could have went, but then I end up getting pulled over by a state trooper. And it was just like things that it was just, the whole process of everything was weird, because it was like I wasn't even speeding, but I was in the left lane and I went past him, and it was just like, it was almost like his energy was like focused on me. It was just a weird process. And the state trooper was sitting somewhere where it's usually county cops sitting at, so that really even wasn't the area where they even really sit at. They're usually on like the bigger interstate, not the side highways, you know what I mean? So 2 big whammies back to back in a week, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then with me having these things going on, right? And then I hear New Breed having his week that's going on, and it's just pulling me into this space. It's like, yo, we could be pulling ourselves down while these things are happening, while if we slip, we have to pay for fucking slipping. Like most beings out here that's operating that fuck with the Matrix, they can slip, and it's not the end of their world, and they don't have huge events happen because they slip. But it's different for us when we slip, because when we slip, we looking for somebody else to chop the other leg off of us. You know what I mean? So getting into these spaces to where all of these events are starting to compile and happen at one time, for me, the best thing that I always do is I think about all the other situations that I've been in that had the same kind of impact. You know, all the situations are different and they all vary on different levels. But if you use your situations that you've been through that you could correlate that's similar to it. So for this one, for me, you know what I'm saying, like all in 1 week, they really trying to hit my pockets as hard as they can and just try to put me in a frenzy. You know what I'm saying? So I would compare, and having my mini also at play. So I would look at this right here with a few years ago when I had to go through this court process and I didn't understand what was I gonna do, how was I gonna manage through this, and or I didn't have finance for that, or I needed to take steps for this and take steps for that. I processed, okay, I remember how I was feeling when I was going through that place back then, and then I processed how was I pulling myself out of that space when I was in that space. So when I start processing how I was pulling myself out of that space, that's when I start using the strength. That's what I start pulling and using as strength. So I'm pulling and using that as strength. You put that next to your belief system, whether you know, like whether you believe in the creator or as God, Allah, whatever name you put to it, you know what I'm saying? So you stick those two together, and then you take your best positive uplifting affirmations and things that you've done in your life, and you put that on the other side. So then it's kind of like a sandwich, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to have the creator or your faith and belief system in the middle, and then you got the other two to kind of sandwich that shit up for you. Man, when we choose to step into these places, like to kind of start speaking and using our energy and walking this way of life too, because it isn't just in the cameras, it's the walk as well too behind the cameras, which is why they have to hit the way they hit, you know what I'm saying? Which is why you have to understand how to use your strength and to pull it when you are in detrimental places, or when you're at your cycle where, all right, this is your crunch time cycle, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes what you think is your crunch time cycle isn't your crunch time cycle, and then shit is gonna hit and you're like, oh shit. Yes, when you are at the oh shit, that is your crunch time mode. That's when you're gonna have to start pulling your strength from your real life experiences. So that's when you time travel back to the past. We can time travel with our spirits. You're not time traveling with this vessel. We travel through time with this vessel, but you're not traveling back in time. You can continue to travel forward and make progression. You know what I mean? But you're gonna have to use those things to pull your strength, because if you don't use those things to pull your strength, it's like New Breed. Like, if he didn't have his belief system and he didn't maneuver and operate the way he did, that shit would have knocked him out in this week that we thought, you know, we didn't know what was going on. He would be fucking done. You know what I'm saying? But because the way he operated, he pieced it together, boom, he's still out here and he's still able to drop that knowledge and information for us out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with me over here and the same thing with the rest of us out here. You know what I'm saying? The attacks is not gonna stop, but what happens with some of the attacks is some of it is just motherfuckers just waiting around watching you and waiting for you to slip. They just waiting for you to slip. So sometimes the attacks, you opening the door for them to attack, because if you don't slip, then they're not attacking. If you don't slip, then they're not attacking. That's some of the entities. I'm not talking about all of them. That's some. Clearly, the good team has a gang. We all operate differently. The witchy team has a gang. They all operate differently. But for the bulk part, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be the flow. So you're going to have to figure out how to pull that strength. You know what I'm saying? And know that your creator, the belief system that you follow, is what's going to hold you. What's in the middle is usually what holds the sandwich. And if it's not what's in the middle, because I'm just thinking peanut butter and jelly, to be honest. If you're doing any of the other sandwiches, the middle is not going to hold. But anyways, long story short, we have to motherfucking make sure we are pulling strength from our past experience. We have to time travel back. But when you time travel back, just know what you time traveling back for. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're going back for the right tools and items. You know, people like, oh, I wish I would have did this differently when I was younger. Motherfucker, you did it. So do it now. And that's how I feel. Motherfucker, I didn't. So do it now. I'm not going to sit around and be like, I wasted all this time in prison, or I wasted all this time in school playing sports, or I wasted all this time hanging out with my friends and my peers. No. That was all experience time needed. You know what I'm saying? And that's for all of us. That's all experience time needed. That's why as we get older and we progress, we want to share and do more of this information and this knowledge. The ones who are younger that's doing it, it's because they're influenced either by the peers that's already doing this, or they're tapping in to shit that's already happening and operating in the same kind of frequency. You know what I'm saying? So that's usually what's gonna lead you in that path. But just understanding like your strength is gonna come from your experiences and how you stand solid. You know what I'm saying? This is my first court experience, you know, fighting for my mini, but also going in without a court appointed or paid lawyer. And I could have did any of the above, you know what I'm saying? But for me, when the shit happened, it was like, yo, nigga, this is a test. You want to stand up here and speak and be a vessel for the creator, but in order for you to level up and do it on the highest level, nigga, you have to do it in real lifetime with your energy in motion and with shit on the line. You know what I'm saying? And I made some mistakes when I went in there, but I was pretty solid and I was pretty confident, and I still felt pretty good. The outcome isn't what I fucking wanted, but hey, I went in there and I got and gained the experience and the knowledge. So when I come back around the next time, it's gonna be smoother, you know what I'm saying? And the preparation becomes better. But you have to put yourself in the fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? I had a white female judge. There was a white female lawyer. Then I had my white BM out there, you know what I'm saying? And then I had my guardian ad litem is a female as well too. So, you know, I was already in a space full of feminine energy already. But the thing with it is like it was like the universe just kept telling me even before the situation had happened, like this is gonna be your test, you know what I'm saying, to see how you manage yourself standing on your two, being firm in your belief system against a system that don't believe in your shit. Because clearly I was being honest and they are not a system of honesty. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's neither here nor there. It tested my faith, and I still stood tall in front of all of that shit in the process. And I'm still fighting, and we still got shit in the works. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than with the brother New Breed over there. That's kind of what just compiled this all together for me today. I was just like, damn. I was feeling overwhelmed because it just seemed like every day something else was happening or compiling on, or I was getting some new weird news, or somebody was hitting me with some witchy energy on top of my own shit I was slacking on. Just like a compilation. And then my grandmother was in the hospital. She just fell like prior, like I think I went court Tuesday, she fell on a Wednesday. I had got my ticket on a Thursday. Like it was just like she broke her hip. It was just like a whole bunch of things just compiling, and I was just like getting really overwhelmed in the inside. That's why I wasn't doing any posting. I haven't been really active on none of my medias or any of that. And in real lifetime, like even the people around me could kind of tell that my energy had been a little off, and meaning that I be more closed off when I be in that space, because I don't want to project that energy out to others that don't deserve it. If you deserve it, you're gonna get it. But when I'm in that space, I don't feel as if nobody deserves it. I gotta fix my own damn energy, and then I can be concerned with somebody else's energy outside of mine. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we gotta pull our strength from our past, from our recent experiences, you know what I'm saying? Learn how to time travel and pull out the right tools and utensils that you need, you know what I'm saying? I ain't wanna run it up too long, no, tapping everything. I ain't wanna run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.